What's up everybody, Jack Farr here on behalf of Box to Box Football. You're going to have to excuse my voice for this video and any other videos that we do today, but a team called England played last night and they've just made a Euro 2020 final at Wembley, which is going to be played on Sunday. There was a lot of screaming and a lot of shouting happening yesterday, so you'll have to excuse my voice. Today's video, this summer we have a hell of a lot of major names within the footballing world who might be on the move. What I'll be doing in this video is just giving you my prediction as of the 8th of July of where I think these players will end up playing their football for the next season. Before we get started, and I'm going to try and do this for some of the videos now, just make a conscious plea that if you guys are watching the videos, it would really help James and I. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, if you're not already, hitting the bell, and while you're at it, drop a like on the video as well. Without any further ado, let's get into where major stars will end up this summer. First of all, starting with Mr. Paul Pogba. Now, if reports are to be believed, Pogba is actually unhappy with his agent Mino Raiola. This is mainly because he's not achieved his dream kind of move away from Manchester United, where obviously there have been, peaks and troughs, ups and downs. So Mino Raiola is under a lot of pressure this summer. Real Madrid looks to be a no-go. As long as Cristiano Ronaldo is at Juventus, I think it's probably fair to say that with their financial situation, Pogba and Ronaldo will not be playing on the same team with their wage requirements. No to Real Madrid, no to Juventus. That really does leave Paris Saint-Germain, and at the moment there have been contact with Pogba's camp regarding this, and obviously if there's an outgoing star, which there might be, who we'll get to, there may be room for Pogba on the books. So to conclude, for Paul Pogba, I do just get the feeling that there's going to be enough pressure from Pogba, enough pressure on Mino Raiola too, and especially with an outgoing star at Paris Saint-Germain, who we will get to, I do get the feeling that we may be looking at Paul Pogba in a Paris Saint-Germain shirt for the start of next season. That is my prediction. Talking about outgoing PSG stars, we have Mr. Kylian Mbappe. Now, Kylian Mbappe is one of an incredible pool of players at the moment who have only a year left on their current deals. He's told PSG that he's not willing to renew or sign a new or extension to a contract, and it would be absolutely criminal. Do not get it twisted. It would be absolutely criminal to let a player like Kylian Mbappe at the age of 22, 23 to walk for free. That is going to be one of the worst bits of transfer business you will ever see. They must try and make money on him now. It doesn't feel like there are any major contenders for Kylian Mbappe at the moment, apart from Real Madrid. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the next logical step as a part of his career. It just makes perfect sense to me. With Mbappe out the door at PSG, they can focus their finances on the incoming Sergio Ramos, Gigi Donnarumma, who will probably be their goalkeeper for the next 15 years, Achraf Hakimi, who's obviously come in for a lot of money, and perhaps Paul Pogba, and maybe signing somebody like Kane permanently from Everton. And on top of that, we've seen Pablo Sarabia play some decent football for Spain in this tournament, so maybe he'll play a little more. So to conclude on that one, Kylian Mbappe, I do think he's going to be Real Madrid bound. There's no way I can see him signing an extension or going on a free. That would be absolutely criminal. I cannot say that enough. Next up, Mr. Erling Haaland. Now, we know that this guy is a bit of a physical freak. He has absolutely everything you would need to be a complete number 9 in the modern game. However, especially to Chelsea fans out there, I hate to burst your bubble. There's absolutely no way Borussia Dortmund let Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland go in the same summer. It just won't happen. That would basically be Borussia Dortmund admitting, yeah, we're not even going to try and win the league next year. Yeah, we're going to get rid of Haaland and we're going to get rid of Jadon Sancho. Saying that, and this is the only thing that has me a little worried where I might be wrong on this prediction, with Giovanni Reina, who I rate very highly, Julian Brandt is a solid player. We've seen Thorgan Hazard's performances for Belgium. We know he's solid, good genetics for that man as well. Renier, who's going to be on loan, I believe, from Real Madrid, and we've seen Moukoko come through the system there as well. As 16 years old, looks like a grown man out there, and obviously you've got a couple veterans in there like Marco Reus as well. These are all perfectly acceptable alternatives to a team who year after year makes superstar after superstar. So I'm not going to rule out Erling Haaland going, but my bet would be, especially because they're still in the Champions League, one more year of Erling Haaland at Borussia Dortmund, and then we'll see what happens next summer when that clause gets activated. And to be clear, with that clause in place and how much that it's set at, I believe it's like 70 million. There's going to be about 6 or 7 major clubs looking at trying to get Erling Haaland next year. Moving on to one of the 2 biggest names on this list, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, in terms of his status at Juventus right now, we know he's earning an absolutely criminal amount of money, and we know why that is. This guy is such a big draw. He's the biggest draw, I would say, in all of celebrity and just general pop culture. This is, I think, a good signifier of that is he's the most followed person on Instagram. So in terms of how much he's earning, you'd say it's probably going to end up being worth it. We've seen the links to a financial fair play swap deal, which I'll try and go into a bit more detail with Paul Pogba. But in my opinion, the moment you involve 2 kind of super agents like Jorge Mendes and Mino Raiola in a major transaction, it's just destined to fail, because there's a lot of ego, a lot of pride on the line there. I feel like Ronaldo's going to try and be top scorer in Serie A again, and he's going to try and win the Scudetto back for Italy, as well as maybe a final strong attempt with Juventus at the Champions League, and which you've got to keep in mind they only just made it into. To go into a bit more detail with that swap deal, it would be a swap deal where each of the moves, so Pogba to Juventus and Ronaldo to Manchester United, they would be separate deals, and they would be designed in such a way to help both clubs regarding financial fair play compliance and also their own financial struggles. We know the kind of issues that Juventus are in, financial issues that Juventus are in right now. Both these teams are big brands, so I do expect them to both recover. We know Manchester United's worldwide appeal, but to me, the moment you're involving players like Ronaldo, Pogba, Juventus, Manchester United, Mino Raiola, Jorge Mendes, that's destined to fail. I would expect Ronaldo to be at Juventus next season. A player, however, who I think Manchester United are destined to sign is Raphael Varane. After securing Jadon Sancho, it just feels to me like very rarely players get linked with Manchester United and actually move there. I think we can all agree that does not happen very often. This one, however, it does seem like it will. They seem to be the only club in for Varane, and with PSG, who are obviously on the hunt for a centre-back, taking his partner in Sergio Ramos on a free transfer, I'd expect that the money's going to be there, it's going to be right, and Real Madrid, like a lot of the big teams who are financially struggling, they're a willing selling team. This is another player as well who I believe is on a free contract next year, so they're going to want to cash in at this point, and it just feels to me like one will happen. It may drag on, who knows, and Manchester United have to do some selling themselves, but this feels to me like I think Manchester United will have Raphael Varane on the books to partner Harry Maguire and pose a real threat for the Premier League next year. Next up, kind of the 2 prior to our final one, we've got kind of a double whammy of English talent here. It's Harry Kane. Now, I'm sure, well, I actually don't know what the Spurs' opinion on this will be, if you want Kane to stay or if you'd actually like, 120, 150 million. I feel like Kane is going to stay at Spurs. Daniel Levy, or Daniel Leverage, we all know is a bit of a nightmare to negotiate with. Tomiyasu, we've seen that recently, the requirement that Bologna have of the money they'd like for him, and Daniel Levy just tries to undercut him by like 1.5 million. It's ridiculous. Just pay the price for a player, trust me. His value will go up, everything will be fine. You don't have to penny pinch quite like that. But look, I think the problem is a team like Man City or a team like Manchester United, with the spending that they've already, well, more Manchester United, but with the spending that they've already done, it's not going to be a move to Manchester United. And Man City, I think we've seen some of the comments from Pep Guardiola recently, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen. That initial bid, I think, was just to make Daniel Levy reject the bid, and that's why it was leaked to the press. What I will say is, Daniel Levy and Paratici are playing a bit of a dangerous game here because they could have a little bit of a mutiny on their hands depending on how this is being handled. Harry Kane is a great professional and seems to be a nice bloke, and I'm sure lots of the conversations will be kept behind closed doors, but if they don't play this right, this could be a public I would like to leave type scenario. And with supposedly Toby Alderweireld wanting to leave, a new manager coming in, it's a dangerous situation for Tottenham. Kane's obviously going to have his suitors, both Manchester clubs, maybe one of the remaining teams who misses out on Erling Haaland next summer. We know that there's probably going to be about 6 or 7 teams in for Haaland next summer, and I would say that if one of those teams Haaland goes to, which you'd imagine is going to happen, then the other ones might look at Kane as kind of the alternative. But yes, Kane at Spurs, that's the one I feel like is going to happen. The penultimate one is Jack Grealish. Now, similarly with Kane, I feel like the price Villa would want is not representative of how good the player is and what the value of the player really is. To me, £60 million, maybe £70 million, that's probably a little bit generous, but it sounds about right to me. Anything over 100 to me is just absolutely ludicrous. You know, we have to keep the market in perspective somewhat. I'd predict one more year at Villa. If he keeps the performance levels up, playing with Ollie Watkins and Emi Buendia, I'm sure he'll get his move next summer to a bigger club, if that's what he wants. But honestly, the way Villa are looking, that is a team who could be playing Europa League, or if things go really, really well, maybe Champions League football next year. You never know. You really never know. But Jack Grealish, I think it's going to be one more year at Villa, if we're being honest. And finally, the guy who we never thought would move, and maybe he will, but also maybe he won't, Lionel Messi. Now, just to give a general basis of where Barcelona are as a club, they actually can't register any new players at the moment because of their financial situation and because of the wage cap that is currently in place in La Liga. I believe the last figures I saw, don't know how true this is, they were 40% over the wage cap. Now, that obviously means that you can't get a Sergio Aguero through the door, you can't get a Memphis Depay through the door, you can't get an Eric Garcia through the door. And remember, this would not be renewing Lionel Messi, this would be signing him as a new player. As it stands, he is a free agent. The one thing I know with Barcelona, the only reason they really survive is because Lionel Messi is at the football club. So let's not get it twisted here. If the choice is we're not going to sign Eric Garcia or Depay or Aguero because we want to just have Messi, that's what they will do. I saw that PSG offered a contract, I get it, I understand, and why not? Put a cheeky bid in, try and tempt the man, I don't blame him. But I think whatever kind of creative financing that Barcelona have to do, whatever kind of corruption that they need to go through, Lionel Messi will be wearing a Barcelona 10 shirt at the start of next season. I don't expect him to move to a different club. He's going to wait for Barcelona to sort this mess out because, trust me, it is a mess. But I expect Messi to stay at Barcelona. Guys, let me know what you think. Obviously, we're kind of in a position now where there are a lot of these bigger clubs with some of their players who might be moving on, they might not be. And I think what we're noticing as more of a trend in the transfer market now is there's a very kind of cyclical nature to it. Usually each team is mentioned once, and it's one big move, which then is kind of a domino effect to the other moves. So let me know if I've missed anybody who you think could be on the transfer market perhaps and moving clubs. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe. Like I said, we're on the road to 500 and then kind of onwards and upwards from there. And while you're down there, if you don't mind dropping a like on the video, it just helps with the algorithm and helps the channel out as much as it can. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you.